Hi, this is Ashley Danielle from ashleydanielle.com. I have another question that I am going to answer. And the question is, I have it written down here. What should I do if my manifestations aren't working? Right? You're doing the right things. You're being the version of yourself that has the thing. And yet you still don't have the thing. Money, love, a specific person, whatever it is that you're trying to call in, you're trying to manifest, and it's just not here yet. Can be very frustrating, right? And it can be, especially if it's something that is important to you or that you like actually have to have like more money, like a promotion, all of these things, right? The first thing that I would do if the thing that I desire, or if one of my clients is like, Ashley, I've been trying, I've done everything that you told me to do, and I still don't have the thing. The first thing that I would do is I would ask myself, or I would ask my client, why don't I want the thing? So, for example, if it was more money, like if you were trying to manifest $1,000 or $10,000 or whatever it is, why don't I want it? Why don't you want the thing? And it's like, well, that's stupid. What do you mean? Why wouldn't I want it? Of course I want it. Okay, why don't you feel safe having or receiving the thing? Why? What could a potential reason be that you don't want the thing? And with money, one of the things is you're afraid that other people might judge you, might think that you're a bad person. You might think that of yourself as a bad person if you have money. In my life and a lot of the healing I've had to do is around that very thing, right? Like feeling like I would be a bad person if I had more money. Because as a child, I equated having more money as being a shittier person. That was what was modeled to me, right? The people that were struggling were kind, loving, amazing, incredible people. And the people in my life that had money were not that at all. We're the opposite, right? So, like, of course, I internalize the shame around having more money and the belief that having more money made me a bad person. And so I had to do healing around that. And every time I'm coming to a new income goal or an income or like amount of money that I want to have and receive, this comes up, right? It's like, well, who am I to have that kind of money? And I will push it away, or I will be like, oh no, I don't want it internally and like subconsciously, not even realizing that I'm doing it. And so this is why I ask myself this and I ask my clients this, why don't you want the money? And it's like, well, I don't want to be seen as a bad person. I don't want people to judge me. And it's like, adult me is like, fuck that. I don't care. I mean, of course I care, but like not on the level of like little baby girl Ashley inside of me is like terrified to be judged or terrified to be told that she's bad. So why don't you want the money? Why don't you want the love? In working with clients, one of the reasons why they might not want love or they might not want the relationship, and it's like if your dream person walked in, probably you would internally freak the fuck out and be like, no, don't want it, because it's scary to commit to somebody. It's scary to know that you have to be the version of yourself that is in a healthy relationship in order to have the healthy relationship. That can be terrifying. And it's like, what if I fuck it up? And what if I lose it? And like waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? So all of these reasons, you won't even allow your manifestation to come in because it's like you already know how it's going to play out. You already know that, you could lose it. Perhaps with money, perhaps you called in, you've manifested money, and then bigger bills have come, right? Like this happens all the time where it's I see it over and over where it's like, okay, I want to earn, these are not real numbers, but I want to earn $1,000 a month, and currently I'm only earning $500 a month, which I know it's absurd. These are just numbers that feel easy to like wrap my head around in speaking, right? So it's like and then I will help my client get to $1,000 a month, right? Like $1,000. And then it's like at the $500, your expenses are maybe $300, right? So you're like in your income, your amount over is $200, right? So then you go to, because then you think if you go up to $1,000 and I'll, help you get to $1,000, and you're like, my bills will still only be 300. So that's $500, $600, $700. You see, you see why I wanted to choose simple numbers. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to say the math wrong. $700, right? Shit. $700 a month, like that would be amazing to have that much over my bills and expenses. I could have savings, I could go on vacation, I can, XYZ. And then what will happen, or what often happens, is as your income grows, your expenses grow. And it's like, what the fuck, right? Like the way that the economy is, and everybody, everybody's talking about it. Prices of vehicle loans have gone up. The prices of groceries have gone up. So it's like you might earn $1,000, but then all of a sudden now your bills have gone up to $800 and you're still in the same position where you're only clearing $200. It's like, what the fuck, right? Like, why is this happening? And a big reason is you don't feel safe holding that kind of money. You're afraid of what it will mean about you, that you're a bad person, XYZ. It could be a myriad of reasons, right? These are just like the most common for the patterns that I see in my clients. So ask yourself, why don't you want it? And if you're like, fuck you, of course I want it. Okay. If you had to blame it on something, if you had to choose a reason, like just imagine all of the reasons that it could be. I'm scared to hold that kind of money. I don't feel safe. I'm scared that somebody could take it. Like a huge one is taxes. I'm afraid if I receive more money, my taxes will go up, and like I'm going to get audited, and like all of the things that have to do with all of that. Go into it, because it's like, of course you're not going to receive. Of course you're not going to call it in. Of course you're like, subconscious is like, no fucking way. Like, we're terrified. We're not doing this. And so you have to then do the work to come into alignment, right? Like when people are like, oh, come into alignment. It's like, I don't believe alignment is the way that a lot of people talk about it. It is like getting your mental body, your emotional body, your physical body, and your spiritual bodies all in alignment, all in agreement. This is your subconscious. This is your inner child. This is your soul's desire, like what you are here for, the reason that you are here, your higher self, all on the same page, and moving towards, or not even moving necessarily, but like on the same path, right? Like calling in and receiving the same thing. But if you were trying to call in a specific person, right? Like an ex, or, somebody you have a crush on. If that person is not your person, and this is probably a little bit woo, and I understand that. And also I know that this is true. If that person is not for your highest good, or if it's not for their highest good, but I'm primarily talking to you, and not them. So it's like, for you, they're probably not in your highest good, and that's why they haven't come through. Or you are not, I don't want to say you're not ready, but you're not ready for that, right? Like the version of them is a different, I don't know why they want me to describe it like this, but the version of them and the version of you that you currently are is not on the same wavelength. So it would be toxic as fuck. And so your guides, your higher self is like, no, like, you stay back because we're not ready, because we want this to last, right? It depends on what your goal is, right? Like, if you are just trying to manifest, if you just want this person to be your partner and you don't care about like the long-term implications of that, sure, you can have them come in. But if you're watching this, if like you're in my world, you don't necessarily just want the person, you want it to be healthy. You want it to be, at the highest level that you can receive love. And if that person is not coming in, it's because it would not be that in this current state, in this current reality. And so again, why do you not want this? What is it? Right? Like, well, I know that I have to work on my temper, or I know that I'm scared of going on a first date, like whatever it is, right? So then you can use that information and be like, oh shit, okay. So like maybe I need to take anger management. Maybe I need to like go on first dates with other people to get over that fear, whatever it is. But asking yourself, why don't I want it, will solve most of your problems. Like it just will. Like, why don't I want it? If I don't have it yet, it's because I don't want it, because I know myself to be the person that gets whatever the fuck she wants. So if I don't have it, I don't want it. So why don't I want it? Like, truly ask yourself, why don't you want it? Well, the little girl in me doesn't want it because, bah. Well, I don't want it because I'm scared I'll lose it. Well, I don't want it because I'm scared that it'll make me a bad person. I don't want it because I'm afraid that it's taking away from somebody else. Blah, 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 blah. And then once you know like the reason, you can then get to work. And if this is something that you need help with, this is exactly part of what I do as a mentor. So just send me a message and I would be so happy to help you on this, because it doesn't have to be difficult, and it can be a challenge to, like, I don't like this word, but like suss out what it exactly is the belief, or what is the, for a lack of better vocabulary, it's like, what is the reason that you don't fucking want it? What is the reason that you don't want it? A lot of times it can be difficult to look in the mirror and be like, well, it's because of this, right? Like you have to have some self-awareness or have support, or in my case, both, right? Like have both. Have somebody that can be like, well, actually, I see this. It is this, right? Okay. I would love to hear your questions, your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.